After Karen's failed intimidation at my doorstep, the HOA's desperation escalated to dangerous levels. Their next move was personal and aggressive. An enforcer had pointed a gun at my daughter, assuming that fear would finally compel compliance. Karen's belief that intimidation could break my family was gravely mistaken. What they didn't know was that my daughter is a fully trained Special Forces operative, armed with years of tactical training, precision, and discipline. The incident occurred early one evening as my daughter returned from her training facility. An HOA enforcer blocked the driveway, weapon drawn, shouting demands to vacate the property or face consequences. The audacity of the act shocked the neighbors, who watched from a distance, unaware of the danger that was about to unfold, but unaware that the supposed victim was more than capable of responding. As he advanced, my daughter remained calm. Her training allowed her to assess the situation in seconds. The enforcer's stance, the distance, and the potential threats were all cataloged mentally. She did not panic. She acted with precision. Using verbal commands first, she disarmed the situation psychologically, forcing him to hesitate. When he failed to comply, she executed controlled tactical maneuvers, neutralizing the threat without firing a shot. Within moments, the enforcer was disarmed, restrained, and fully incapacitated, humiliated by his underestimation. Karen, observing from a distance, finally realized the severity of her miscalculation. She had assumed that her enforcers could threaten my family without consequence. Instead, her own team had been rendered powerless, while my daughter demonstrated the deadly effectiveness of training, discipline, and authority. Her face went pale as the situation unfolded, realizing that her attempts to intimidate us had resulted in public humiliation and a direct legal liability. I arrived on the scene moments later, fully aware of what had transpired. I documented every detail: photographs, video, witness accounts, and tactical records. Karen's HOA had violated multiple laws, from assault and brandishing a weapon to trespass and harassment. The evidence was irrefutable, and the enforcer's claims would collapse under scrutiny. Karen's miscalculation had turned into a legal nightmare. The incident became an immediate spectacle. Neighbors and community members, who had once feared the HOA's authority, witnessed firsthand the consequences of overreach. Social media amplified the story. The supposed threat to my family had been entirely neutralized by skill and preparation. Karen's reputation suffered catastrophic damage, and her authority within the HOA eroded completely. I did not stop at containment. The enforcers were handed over to law enforcement, facing arrest and prosecution. Security protocols on the property were immediately enhanced. Additional surveillance, perimeter alerts, and tactical response systems ensured no future threats could approach undetected. Karen and her HOA learned once again that direct threats against me or my family would result in consequences far beyond their imagination. By evening, I sat with my daughter on the porch, the sun setting behind the hills, reflecting on the standoff. The message was clear. Attempts to intimidate, threaten, or harm my family are futile against preparation, training, and authority. Karen's HOA had underestimated us yet again, and the cost was public humiliation, legal jeopardy, and complete loss of credibility. The property remained secure, the family unharmed, and the community aware of the consequences of overreach. Karen had believed that her enforcers could intimidate or coerce, only to discover that targeting the wrong family member leads to disaster for the aggressor. Every act of aggression, every attempt at dominance, reinforced our control, authority, and the inescapable fact that I and my family are untouchable when prepared, skilled, and decisive. The lesson was unmistakable. Overestimating authority, underestimating skill, and assuming fear could force compliance will always end in failure. Karen's HOA had learned, publicly and painfully, that crossing the wrong family comes with catastrophic consequences, and their credibility, influence, and ability to intimidate had been shattered once and for all.